Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I've got turn 63 of Abysia. We got a bunch of astral gems from Kailasa. This is because we're going to be doing dispels and forging on our end. So, trying to centralize all of that. Sorry, getting a little bit of water. Alright, and we send off our 3 disease demons, so let's see how they do. So first up is a shaman. All right, easy enough. Then we've got the empoisoner, the one I'm really concerned about because of the assassin tag. They're very patient assassins too. All right. Then the third disease demon, another shaman. All right, so all of those went well. Let's see. We find a flaming tomb, which is nice. We put up our Dome of Arcane Warding, cast a couple of blood bowls. Flaming tomb is 1 death and 1 fire. Pretty good sight. And then we get hit by another trio of magic phase attacks from Zabalba. So more Locust. Now, this spell is very expensive. It's 88 blood slaves, but demonic locusts are pretty good. They also have a big dominion impact since they're all heretics. So if this fighting is happening in their dominion, it will weaken their dominion push somewhat and allow us to push our dominion into them until they come further out towards the middle to fight us. But considering their dominion doesn't have a lot of places to go, I don't anticipate there being a big dominion impact. And they managed to catch another Melkart, and this one was a heroic endurance Melkart, which is a little bit sad because he had a bunch of reinvigoration. All right. Then we've got another magic phase attack on Abysia. Oops. All right, sorry. Let's see. Sorry about that. Doing a little bit of texting. All right, so I'm back. All right, so we did get a couple of mages attacked by Arcane. Is it Arcane Corruption this turn or Astral Corruption? So this little guy's got a imp familiar, so he's been horror marked, so he's more likely to fall prey to this stuff. There's a few bodyguards in the room, but they're not going to have much to say about float cats. And everyone dies. And then additionally, we've got this lizard shaman with a imp familiar. I've been somewhat careful about moving lanterns off of horror marked individuals. I've kind of run out of new individuals. But I think that's helped minimize some of the damage a little bit on the research. And these guys are pretty terrifying, these Soul Torns. They've got Soul Rending Claws, which add additional horror marks. And they've also got a fear effect. So they're pretty nasty, but as far as horrors go, they're one of the easier horrors to deal with, but they're still going to be way too much for my little shaman here. We go ahead and we get Vlex relinquished to us. That's going to be a new blood hunting province in a little bit more dangerous location. But if we can blood hunt the center of the map, I think that's preferable. Now that we've got a little bit more control out there. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so We've got him attacking some independents here. This is a lot of long dead, and it's the Rephite ones. So they've got 20 map move. I see a lot of people splitting out the big ones and the little ones, but I kind of like combining them because the little ones can filter in with the big ones. I think either way you can have the big ones wade or the little ones filter in. And it's because you can fit the size 6 long dead Rephite with the size 3 normal long dead. So I don't know that this is optimal. Maybe you get a little bit more map move out of it. Alright, in Klon, we've got a lumber construct going up against 1 PD again. Where was that? That was here. Alright, so cleaning up some more of these raids, reclaiming one of our pearls. Then we've got Zabalba attacking Panuonia. So this is the King of Banefires again with his bodyguard vampire. Also has the Bane Thug here. And just going up against 1 PD. Banefire's the Bane, which is a little bit funny to say, but does kill the PD. So gotta be a little bit careful with some of those evocations. And then we've got Kailasa doing some counter raiding. So we've got a group of Angiri with a general just up against 1 PD. Oh good, that guy's on advancing cast, so he would eventually bless everyone. So that was... Oh, but they had no leadership here. Interesting. I wonder if we assassinated the leader. Okay. Or mind hunted it. I believe we've got mind hunts online. So those demonic locusts route. Then we've got a Yaksha Hellsword Thug going up against 1 PD. Pretty standard buff list. I can go ahead and bring it up really quick. So Iron Skin, Blessing, Temper Flash, Regen, and Iron Will. So that was here. Then we have an attack in Janumia. Zabalba sending in a Vampire Lord with a Armor of Knights and just going up against 1 PD. Should easily handle this. We've got Damage Reversal though, which is a fun script. And then Soul Vortex and Horde of Skeletons. Alright, and then in Redbud Grove, here we go. Here's a mixed force. This is what I like. Alright, so this is a Hinnom raiding group that got sent in against these lizards, so we don't actually take any attrition here, which is nice. Okay, and then in Kasevik Highlands, we've got a battle between Lanka's vampire, and some Sadist PD. Don't really care as much about that. Another Lanka vampire raid against 1 PD. In Lagoon of Pearls, we have a TNN raid where we've got a couple of Frostbrand thugs and a Coralblade thug, but I see a bunch of yogis here. And they've got a little bit of a PD dump, so we'll see how we do. So the Enslaved Mind Communion at work again, trying to steal She-Lord thugs. Where was that? Was that... That was here, Laguna Pearl. So we stole 2 of them. Zabalba attacking Rostergrad with a vampire. Probably a similar script if I had to guess. Yeah, damage reversal, soul vortex, horde of skeletons. Then Hinnom attacking Forest of Springs. Alright, so this is Hinnom's main army. And right now this is just the PD from the fort. Okay. So a little bit of friendly fire there. Loses a long dead Rephite. And then we have move in. We got a headhunter with some longbows. I don't think there's a lot of shed in this army, but there's a little bit. They're kind of spread out a bit. A little bit of friendly fire again. Alright, so let's see how much friendly fire. We lose 2 long deads to that. It kind of looks like in the battle that we lost a Sayer, so maybe that was a replay bug, or I just didn't watch it closely enough. And are done. We've got TNN. This is a She-Lord without the mount. We've got elemental armor and a Frostbrand. Going up against 1 PD. Should still do just fine. In Morn Woods, we've got Kailasa attacking with a Hellsword Thug, Dragon Helmet Fireplate against 1 PD. Should do just fine. And then Tianchi storms the fort. Now they had that big victory last turn, where they ping the fort with a mage. It's a little sad. But in terms of what's inside, we see camels, and then we see all the retreated mages from the last battle, including the 2 Ifrit Sultans. Are they stealthy? They are not stealthy, so they are trapped, along with the Tubbas. The Karens can leave if they so chose. And the camels could definitely leave, but they'll probably all stay to try and help out. But I think that's a pretty lost cause in that fort. In England, if the Sultans should be able to magic phase away, I think. If I forget, they might just be air 1. But by now, I feel like they should have some air boosters to be able to cloud trapeze out. And we've got a Kailasa army with Storm and Light of the Northern Star, turn 0. We have a whole, and here we have the Mage Corps from the large fight against Hinnom a couple of turns ago. So they did not end up leaving this fort. They could have easily evacuated most of the significant stuff. Kushi are stealthy. Shi warriors are stealthy. All the mages are stealthy, including these banshees, which is what I call them. And we've got the crushers would have to be lost, along with the infamous spine frogs. But I don't know that you want to take a fight with just a mage corps without some sort of army. So I don't know how well they're going to do against this. There is less mage support here for this Kailasa army, but there is enough. So we've got a nature Yaksha, earth Yaksha, earth Yaksha. We've got the Stormstaff Yakshini. We got a couple of water mages here with water lenses. So it's a pretty durable army in terms of spell casting. TNN, I'm not sure how much effort they're still putting in. We've got Dreamstones on mages, a classic, especially going up against a Communion Nation. You don't want -2 MR on your mages, so my guess is they're losing some real-life morale checks. We do have a lot of glamour gems on this sorceress, though, so she can do stuff. We have a ton of Frostbrand thugs. A couple of them also have Dream Spools for a little bit of glamour. Maybe to generate some chaff. We have a bunch of Furbolg Druids here with Alquills. So if Kailasa had more commanders here, he'd really stand to loot a lot of stuff. But he's got a fairly small number of casters, but he still might loot a fair amount of stuff. He's got a lot of open miscellaneous slots. So we'll see how this army goes. The core of this army are these Marut. They have a fatigue-based lightning attack, which is very strong. We have a bunch of their normal gold recruit sacreds, who are pretty good, especially with our bless and some buffs. And then we've got a number of these Ingiri, which are the scaling fire summons, with a bunch of fire resist. They've also got Awe built in, just like everything else in the lineup. Well, except the Marut don't have Awe. But yeah, so 23 damage falchion with 14 attack. Definitely a better stat line than the gold paid for sacreds. And then we've got a few Mooseful Giants in the back. So I'll go ahead and let you guys see this battle. We'll see what TNN casts. Twilight. Up here on the front is a TNN hero. It's the Tuatha Queen. Just wanted to call her out. Currently stunned at the moment. A little surprising we didn't see Hal from the defense. A little bit of charm spam coming out. Alright, so some of these guys were just kind of sitting by the gate. But yeah, this was a super solid victory. Let me... Was it? No, it was at the fort. Here we go. So we lose a Yaksha. We also lose a fair amount of stuff. 28 Angiri, 92 of the gold sacreds, 1 Marut, and a Mooseful Giant from Friendly Fire. But trading all this stuff out, we do kill off 32, 40, like 61 mages. And a few summons. The summons weren't too important, but killing off that much of TNN's Mage Core is a big deal. It'll make it much harder for him to rally a new force somewhere else, maybe in like his capital or a rear-facing fort. So this is a big win. Really guts TNN. And I think that's our big battle for the turn. All right, so taking a look at things. All right, so we've got a Zabalba army tied up, I believe, in Forest Springs, unless it moved back out to Indron. We don't have vision on Indron anymore. But we are sieging down this fort. We do expect Zabalba to fight for it. They just put it down. We did not put down this fort. We do see continued raiding pressure out here. The Mind Hunt spam is pretty effective at killing some of these commanders, so we can try to get a handle on the deep raiding elves, and we can try to get a handle on these demonic locust groups, so that's good. We do have some victories in the region, including the big one in Angland, which should open up a path to TNN's capital and to Ostrith. Additionally, I don't believe there's any forts down here, at least from what we've seen, and we've cut off the income from it, assuming there are no forts down there. So we're looking at potentially just 3 TNN forts to go. As we continue gutting and gutting TNN, and we're in the process of trying to exhaust Zabalba's resources, but we haven't pushed into their territory very much at all yet. But we do see Zabalba making a lot of efforts to try and help defend and stem the tide. We do have another Hinnom stack here and here, so we've got some more reinforcements about to flood in. And if we are going to beat this team, we should do it, in my opinion, quickly. I don't think you want to drag out wars too much if players are demotivated like this TNN player. So if we can try to knock them out of the war, then I think that would be probably best. And go let them grab a new game that they're excited about. This fort is still under siege, it looks like. So we're trying to, I believe we should be still collecting the gem income from it, but it would be nice to be able to recruit stuff here. So it would be good to free that up. And we did have a couple of wins in the back lines, I believe, against Zabalba. So this Yaksha Thug won. We killed those 2 Ettins. I thought we killed some Deep Raiders. Maybe I'm just missing where that happened. But yeah, they could have been stealthing this turn. They did a bunch of attacks last turn, so maybe we'll expect attacks next turn. In terms of what we're up to, this is what we're only shipping out a couple of items this turn. We turned off most of our forging last turn. In terms of forging, we're forging mostly all blood items, or items with very low gem counts, to try and kind of keep things moving. Part of that is concern for astral corruption, but then also, while we're at it, we might as well provide some new capabilities. So we're looking at a lot of items that would help sustain Hinnom Sabbath. So we've got a Slave's Heart, we've got Masters of Thames, we've got Blood Thorns, we've got Scarlet Loops. So that's kind of a big focus for this turn. In terms of a Dispel, we are making a move to dispel astral corruption this turn. We're continuing to do mostly blood stuff forging, although we are risking a shield of meteoritic iron because there was some need for that from Hinnom, and we're also picking up a new armor of souls. So I think that's it for this turn. Additionally, yeah, I think that's most of it. We're also mostly done with our personal site searching, but we do have a number of these anointed running around doing Holy 3 site searching. Just trying to find, whatever little bits of gem income we can continue to find. So I'm not really putting together big armies. I'm letting Hinnom and Kailasa do that. And then over here, we've got the Tianchi siege on Inarim, so they should be able to take that fort promptly. I don't think they're going to be scared of what's inside, that's for sure. We can see Ulm already took the neighboring fort, so they're going to have a base of operations inside of the Ubar home region. So their long war is starting to see some fruits. And then we've got Agartha continuing to siege this Rus fort, but we do have a Vanheim siege on this Marverni fort. So still a fair amount of back and forth just around the bridges out. Yeah, the bridges out for the Agartha team. So a lot of fighting around here. And the Baratos team, so we see must have been some sort of counter pressure from Micklin because they've pushed back I think Muspelheim had been sieging one of these forts. So they pushed that back, and we see this. I'm not sure that there's anything in this whole region that can withstand this Baratos army, so it's going to be marching around. And on my end, I've got our first gnome running his way back to the throne. So looking forward to that as well. And in terms of time, we're at about 27 minutes, so I may as well stop here, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.